Hi everyone, welcome to the Wednesday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. Local residents have once again opened their hearts and wallets to help mankind a world away in the midst of a disaster. In less than a month, the Hopkinsville Christian County Chamber of Commerce has raised thousands of dollars in donations to provide aid for earthquake, tsunami, disaster victims in Japan. Chamber of Commerce Economic Development Council Director Lee Conrad told Source 16 he is very happy with the funds raised.
We have, to this point, $7,000. We actually just got word that we're going to receive another $1,000 after our press release went out. So we have been able to raise about $8,000 for the Japanese relief effort through the Red Cross, and it came from everything from as small as $25 or $50 donations all the way up to a couple of significant donations that really helped the cause. But whenever you have 9 Japanese companies, over 2,000 people who work for them, I think people recognize the impact they have on our community and our need to help them in this time of need.
He says the money raised will now go to the American Red Cross and then straight to Japan. With 9 Japanese industries in Christian County, it is still unknown how the disaster will affect local manufacturers.
They're doing very good. Obviously, Toyota Gosei TG faced their issue with the weather last week, and they're actually back up to 100% production here locally. Several of the Japanese automotive companies, Toyota, Honda, and others have said that there will be more slowing down of production because of a couple of key parts that are produced only in Japan, computer chips for engines, and also some paint that is produced over there. They're going to have to slow down some production, and that will eventually reach us, but we still don't know how much we will be affected in terms of our local industry.
Anyone interested in donating to the Japan relief efforts can contact the Chamber of Commerce at 270-885-9096 or chamber@hopkinsvillechamber.com. A fatal crash in Marshall County last night claimed the life of a Paducah woman. According to the Marshall County Sheriff's Department, 35-year-old Tara Borders was driving her SUV east on US 68 in the Palma community around 10:50 when she failed to negotiate a curve, ran off the road, and crashed into a tree. Police say Borders, who was not wearing a seatbelt, died at the scene of the crash. The crash is still being investigated by the Sheriff's Department. Well, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, driver distraction is the leading factor in most crashes. In 2009, over 130 drivers under 21 lost their lives to distractions while traveling on Kentucky roadways. Michelle Herron has the amazing story of one Todd County girl who is using her personal story to help save lives.
Most teens these days have grown up with technology right in their hands. When you mix that with inexperienced driving skills, the outcome can be deadly. April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety had a unique way to show Hopkins County Central High School students how dangerous distracted driving really is.
We use a simulator to put them on there and put them in real life scenarios, and then have them actually use their cell phone to either make a call or actually send a text message and just kind of show them how it affects their driving.
Almost every single student crashed while sending text messages during the simulation, showing how easily a distraction can result in a collision.
But what many young drivers don't understand is that it's not just text messaging that equals distracted driving. It can be eating, talking on the phone, or even having a conversation with a passenger. Meet one Todd County Central High School senior that almost lost her life because of just that.
My little brother looked at me and said, "Can we go down a different road because this one's dangerous?" And I looked away at him for like 2 seconds, and it was long enough to say, "Calm down, Isaac, we're going to be okay." And then by the time that I finished saying and started to look back, my car hit a pothole and it threw us out of control into the other lane.
On November 3rd, Kelly Wyatt's car was hit by a truck, leaving her internally decapitated along with multiple other injuries and only a 2% chance to live. A little over a month later, Kelly was released from the hospital, leaving doctors baffled.
Leaving the hospital and then coming back to school, that was just one of my favorite days ever because I had missed school so much, and then when I came back, everybody welcomed me, and the only thing that I can't do now is drive yet, but I mean, everything that I went through is worth it.
Today, Kelly is back at school getting ready for prom and graduation, things she almost never had the chance to experience. The media class at Todd County Central used Kelly's story in an award-winning public service announcement contest with the Office of Highway Safety.
I can't say anything more than what she actually did because she said it all. She lived that particular situation of distracted driving.
It was almost too late for me, but I've really learned things that you can't take anything for granted.
Michelle Herron, Source 16 News.
And after graduation, Kelly plans to attend the Paul Mitchell School of Hair in Murfreesboro. A Cerulean teen was sentenced in Christian County Circuit Court today for his involvement in the Amish Mennonite robberies last year. 18-year-old Dacre Scott stood in silence with his public defender at his side as Judge John Atkins read his 27-year sentence this morning.
You are guilty of 9 counts of first-degree robbery. I sentence you to 17 years on each of those 9 counts and 10 years on each of 9 counts of burglary in the first degree. I sentence you to 5 years on 9 counts of wanton endangerment first degree concurrently, and 1 year for tampering with physical evidence and fleeing or evading the police.
Last month, Scott's public defender filed a motion to withdraw his guilty plea, but Atkins denied the motion and rescheduled his sentencing for today. As previously reported by Source 16, Scott and 4 other males, Lavelle Washington, Sergio Del Angel, Raul Hernandez, and Daniel Martinez, accepted plea bargains from the Commonwealth for their roles in the February 2010 robberies and burglaries of 9 Amish Mennonite homes in Christian and Todd counties. Also in Christian County Circuit Court today, a mental competency hearing was set for a Hopkinsville teen charged with murder. Judge Atkins scheduled 19-year-old Seth Wallen's hearing for Wednesday morning, June 1st. According to Hopkinsville police, Wallen confessed to the shooting death of 38-year-old Corey Trice on October 9th in front of 1811 Oak Street, and then disposed of the murder weapon. In addition to the murder, Wallen is also charged with tampering with physical evidence and remains lodged in the Christian County Jail without bond. A Hopkinsville couple charged with multiple counts of criminal child abuse had their cases continued until next month in Christian County Circuit Court. 23-year-old Christine Benedict and 24-year-old David Benedict of Woodmill Drive did not appear in court today, but Judge Atkins met with their attorneys and continued the hearing for May 25th at 8:30 a.m. According to their April 1st grand jury indictments, the couple's 14-month-old and 2-year-old were found living in a roach-infested home. According to Hopkinsville police, bags of trash also were found throughout the home, and maggots were found in the 14-month-old's crib. A fire caused $25,000 in damage to a single-story home in Hopkinsville last night. The Hopkinsville Fire Department responded to 2803 Lindsay Drive around 11:30, where firefighters found moderate smoke coming from the home and initiated an attack on the fire. The occupant of the home, Angie Joyner, reportedly escaped safely and told fire officials that a candle was burning next to a lamp on her nightstand next to her bed. According to Joyner, she was in another bedroom when she heard a popping sound, and when she went to check it out, she saw flames coming from her lamp and bed. Firefighters extinguished the blaze and remained on the scene for about 2 hours. The home, valued at $75,000, is owned by C&L Rentals of Hopkinsville. And speaking of fire, residents of Hardin and Marshall County can now burn outdoors again. On Wednesday, officials lifted the burn ban that went into effect nearly a week ago. Due to recent rainfall, residents are allowed now to burn from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. if burning is 150 feet away from any woodland or brushland set by the guidelines of the Division of Forestry Spring Fire Hazard Season. The presence of white nose syndrome, a deadly disease to wildlife, has been found in a bat in Trigg County. That according to wildlife officials. The Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources reports that a suspect little brown bat from a cave in Trigg County was submitted to the Southeastern Cooperative Wildlife Disease Study in Athens, Georgia, which confirmed the disease. State Fish and Wildlife Commissioner Dr. Jonathan Gassett says this is likely the most significant disease threat to wildlife Kentucky's ever seen. According to Dr. Gassett, they plan to aggressively manage this threat as it occurs in Kentucky in order to protect and conserve the bat populations. First detected in 2006 in the state of New York, white nose syndrome has since killed more than 1 million cave-dwelling bats in eastern North America. Kentucky was the first state to develop a response plan to address the disease both before and after arrival in the state. The good news is the disease does not affect humans. 3rd District State Senator Joey Pendleton has been reappointed to the Legislative Tobacco Settlement Agreement Fund Oversight Committee. Pendleton of Hopkinsville has served on the Tobacco Oversight Committee since its inception back in 2000. He also serves on the Senate Agriculture Committee and the Agriculture Subcommittee on Horse Farming. Last year, Pendleton was elected Vice Chair of the Agriculture and Rural Development Committee of the Southern Legislative Conference, and he is the former chair of the Tobacco Task Force. Well, now here's Hopkinsville Christian County Crime Stoppers Coordinator, Officer Paul Ray, with our featured fugitives of the week.
Wanted fugitives. Police are looking for 30-year-old Nicholas Thomas Simpson, who's wanted for probation violation. Simpson is a white male who stands 6 feet tall and weighs 210 pounds. His last known address was the 700 block of East 7th Street. Police are also looking for 20-year-old DeAnthony Montrell Davey, who's wanted for drug court violation. Davey is a black male who stands 5 feet, 9 inches tall and weighs 180 pounds. His last known address was the 100 block of North Kentucky Avenue. If you know where police can locate these wanted fugitives, and we've got cash waiting for you. Pick up your phone now and call our tips line at 887-TIPS. If your information leads to an arrest, Crime Stoppers will pay you a cash reward. And remember, we will never ask your name, and you will not have to appear in court. Well, this week's Fugitive of the Week, I'm Officer Paul Ray for Crime Stoppers.
Get ready, tonight's Powerball jackpot is $27 million. Friday's Mega Millions jackpot, $72 million.